Good evening, everybody. Call to order the Ayer Board of Selectmen for Tuesday, March 27th, 2018. You all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everyone. Do we have, Robert, I think you had mentioned a couple.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good evening. A couple of amendments to the agenda. The reserve fund transfer from the finance manager, we could remove that and we'll bring that up for the April 3rd meeting. And then under the Economic Development Director's report, the Park Street Corridor form-based presentation, we could remove that and plan to schedule that for the May 1st meeting. And then lastly, the March 20th minutes will be in your packet for the April 3rd meeting, so my apologies on the delay there.
Okay.
Other than that, those are my changes.
You guys got anything?
No. Maybe something later.
Still the Selectmen's questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 A couple quick announcements. Shannon, do you want to do the warrant first?
There wasn't one.
Oh, that's right. We had the turnaround week.
Yeah.
A couple quick announcements.
It's the one time you remembered it.
I know. I made a point to remember it tonight, too. The FY 2019 water and sewer rate public hearing will take place on Tuesday, April 3rd, 2018 at 7:15 p.m. in the first floor meeting room of the Ayer Town Hall as part of the evening's Board of Selectmen meeting. I'd also like to welcome our student reporter, Michelle Woodland. Thank you. Mrs. Capasso, I forgot to mention you guys last week, but they covered the meeting last week. It was a little hectic. Also, I wanted to acknowledge, and I know we're going to invite them, but the Lunenburg Ayer Shirley hockey team won the state championship
Oh, nice.
a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations.
So that would be our second state championship in about 3 weeks into a track.
Oh.
And I know you guys are working on scheduling them to.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, the plan is if all works out well, we'll have both championship teams here for the 3rd,
All
the
right,
track and the hockey, but that is exciting.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think that was it. Anybody for public input? Okay, perfect. Raise your hand, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Can we have Mr. Fisher,
Sure.
Mr. Callahan from Mark to come up?
Mr. Chairman, at the request of the board, I'd like to invite Bruno Fisher, the Deputy Director of MART, Mr. George Kahale, Transportation from MRPC. I did transmit to the board the recent, the most final updated schedule for the project, which I know the board has, and at your request, I asked Mr. Fisher to come to answer any questions the board may have about the schedule or about the project in general. And I think, Mr. Chairman, we can all agree, myself included, we are all frustrated that we are behind the original plan, the plan being for the project to be out to bid in January. And as you can see from the schedule, we're looking at more into the summer. So again, it's an opportunity for any questions that the board may have for Mr. Fisher, Mr. Kahale regarding the project.
I guess I would start with it seems like, I don't know if it's the architect or engineers have had this. I wasn't chair then, so it was over a year ago that they met with us. You may have been chair, it's been a while. And they said they were going to have it back to us last May. And then Gary and I, Janice was absent, I was sick that night, we approved the plan for the plaza in October. And now we're into April, essentially.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, the way I look at it, Bruno, is the construction season's lost already.
Well, I don't think it's lost, but it's certainly going to be shortened, or they're going to certainly be working in winter months when they probably would not have anticipated that, at least by our original schedule. But I agree with you. It is dismaying that we have been pushed out. I did talk with Weston Sampson. We met, George and myself went down there a couple of Fridays ago to really kind of get them a firm schedule and meet with them on the project. And that was resulted in the email I sent to Robert and he shared with the board. And so we gave you that kind of very hard schedule now. We told them, whatever you need us to meet and the various dates, they have the soft dates and the hard dates. As long as we're, meeting them, they have to meet that schedule. I think, not in defense of them, but, in talking with Alyssa, and Peck and the engineer Larry Keegan. Some things did kind of, I guess, push it back that were probably somewhat unanticipated. And I think the Depot Square, originally started out was, when we originally were going to bid the project, we really think it was just going to be pretty much just an access to the station, kind of driveway, turn around, and that was it. And then when the town purchased that additional property there, that obviously added a lot more dimension to that design, and quite a bit more area to design into. But again, I pushed it back somewhat. But again, somewhat along the same lines as the utilities more recently have pushed it back a bit too. We were originally thinking they were going to use the existing utilities over there, and it was determined apparently that there's no easement across the abutters property, so that all has to be redesigned and down the pathway that's owned by us and actually going to be added to the project. It has to be the water, sewer, drainage, potentially probably even the electrical.
This is over at Depot Square.
Depot Square.
Yeah.
So again, the original thought it was going to come just wherever it's coming through now would continue, but without any easement, that has to now be moved to the property that's owned by the town. So that's kind of a redesign that they're actually just finishing up. On top of that, they kind of did quite a bit of work. We did 2 environmental assessments, one for the rail trail and one for Depot Square, both of which had fairly positive results, but again, kind of extended things along a little bit. And then, again, I think just generally been a lot more coordination, I think, at least than they anticipated, whether that was, should have been foreseen by them or not. But, so again, I think we share your frustration that we certainly wanted to hit the construction season earlier on, at least when the weather broke, and now it seems it's almost breaking, despite the four storms in a row. But we are going to hold them to the schedule. We just again that we shared with you, and that they'll be required to meet all the deadlines, and we told them that whatever is required on our end as far as submittals that they send out to us or to the town that need to be approved or whatever will certainly get done and back to them. So the schedule is kind of written in stone now.
I'm pretty sure we voted on the deck October.
Mm-hmm. You voted.
Final design?
I believe.
Well,
you
Gary,
voted on
you were
Yeah, but I
sick,
remember
we,
you guys
we was
doing
Depot
it.
Square, but I'm talking about the actual parking structure itself. I thought we sat here almost a year ago and had the various plans of the 2 decks and the ramp. And
We had the plans, but I don't know if we had a definitive answer to one of them.
did we? I thought we made a decision.
October, I thought was the final plan.
Last-
That was Depot Square, though.
Oh, that was just
Yeah, that was-
Depot Square was October, and then last year, around this time,
Yeah.
the board had voted to authorize the deck concept.
Okay.
And what we're waiting for now is the finalization of the deck.
Okay.
I mean, it is 2 stages after the concept, so you approve the concept,
Yeah.
whatever the date was, and then there's a preliminary design which they came back on, which kind of gave, and again was kind of what they went through with the planning board, and zoning board of appeals as well, and then the final design is what you'll be seeing, and again probably in the next less than a month now. Which again, I think most of the input's already been given, but I know you want the town needs to see it and approve that. That it is what you in fact expected. So again, so the concept design was last year, and then it was the preliminary design we came back, and again that was kind of where they gave you the kind of what it's going to look like and how it's built and all that, and then the planning board was just I think broken into 2 pieces. I think it was maybe December and then late January.
The planning board approval, which there were two components, ended up being continued by the planning board, so it ended up being 2 meetings, but really almost 3 meetings because we did have a winter storm that
Why
came.
does it continue?
The planning board, we had presented it, and the chair and the planning board had continued it to a second meeting, so it took an additional meeting.
That just works me.
And in between,
2 weeks.
and in between that, there was a storm.
So it was like a 6-week
I mean,
break. in
we don't
between.
say those things as excuses. I'm just saying.
No, I know. I mean,
timeline.
it's not anybody at
Yeah.
this table's fault. I just don't understand.
So
It starts at 6, why they can't stay and get it done. But another argument for another time, sorry.
Mhm.
We stayed at 11:30.
Yeah, exactly. So, Bruno, we're looking at, I guess my concern is too, I mean, is we're getting into winter. Where are we going to have parking somewhere in the wintertime? I mean, it's tight in downtown Ayer in the wintertime.
For sure.
With snow. And if that, whoever uses that, I know it's not supposed to be used, but it is for
Yep.
for the parking for the station. There's going to have to be some plan.
Yeah, I mean, we've, George can actually probably speak to that a little bit better. He's been doing some of the scoping out research work. I mean, we've looked at a couple spots. Potentially, there's a church down off of
St.
West
Mary's.
Main.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
potentially using that, paying the church to use that. We've done that before, like up when we did our gardener maintenance facility. We actually rented the
You just do like
furniture shop.
a bus or something, like a shuttle or something, or just make it?
Yeah, I mean, and it's actually probably, if you're at the far end of the rail trail lot, walking all the way
Yeah,
to the
no,
station,
yeah.
this actually might be a shorter
Yeah.
lot, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it can certainly be some type of shuttle as well, potentially looked at. But and that again, we kind of just looked at it quickly, but it looked somewhere around 75, 80 spots. It's probably approximate to what is there now.
Right.
There's also some other spots around town here, so potentially we could. And I know Robert, and it's dear to his heart, he's been looking at it as well.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, through you, Bruno, just to clarify for everybody's benefit, so in terms of a potential, and we'll say potential interim plan, would be that Mart would enter into an agreement with, say, St. Mary's Church, and you would pay the church to rent
Just kind
those
of lease it.
spaces,
Yep.
lease those spaces, and then you would run a shuttle from that area to the
Just back
to
and
the
forth to the
platform.
station.
Yeah, if necessary.
Yeah.
So that's a potential option.
It's not just this parcel, could be other parcels.
Oh yeah, right. I mean,
Okay.
I know there's some, I believe, up in behind this area here. So I mean, yeah, we certainly. I mean, that's one of the spots we look at because certainly if it's not used during the week, it's a potential source of income for the church.
absolutely.
And again, it's almost the approximate same size. It holds about the same amount of cars that are in the rail trail lot now. So that definitely could be a one. It's certainly not the only one. And again, wherever we look at, and I don't think we'd want to rent multiple spots or at least multiple areas or whatnot. But if we can find a spot that suits everybody's needs, wherever that might be. Again, the church was one of them. I think up in behind here was another one. But whatever we can find to make it work, make it work for the commuters and all that. We can lease a spot, and that just becomes part of the project.
Yeah, we discussed that about 7 years ago.
But when they first
church.
when we first did the plans,
Yeah, with the church.
yeah. I mean, that's a good idea. Actually, it could be like a source of revenue too, a small source of revenue for the church.
I'm sure during the
of
week
course.
it's probably not terribly, not used that much.
Right.
And really on that weekend, the commuters aren't really using
Yeah,
it.
there's nobody there for
Yeah.
the most part.
Would it go in unison, this over here, or would this, with the facility, I mean, do you know how that would go? Is it going to go as one project at one time, or is it going to be
I
focused on the
think-
deck first or the parking lot?
I think we'd probably try to get that under lease as early as possible. Certainly want to let people know.
No, I was talking about which do you think it would start? Like, what would be
Construction.
Construction would probably be.
I think we're going to probably try to do it somewhat simultaneous.
Okay.
I mean, I think they can do both sides somewhat. It's not neither one. I think has any precursors that prevent you from doing the other one. So I mean, certainly, when we do projects, again, most of them are usually on just one site. But we usually just turn it over and we'll have meetings usually with whatever departments in the town need to be involved with the contractor once we get them on board, and kind of determine if there's things that they like to restrict one side or the other, or work in a certain area, and if they need details and all that. So, but usually that's worked out between the general contractor and any subs that would be on the job, and how they. But I can't picture that they couldn't do some of the work simultaneously. Obviously, going to keep access to the station open so that.
Yeah, no, understood.
But over here, I mean, it's really. I think the entrance going in, the driveway really. that's just paving and the sidewalk and all that. I don't think that's going to be a lot. More of the work is going to be on that plaza area, but again, I think there's really still access to the station.
Yeah, which
you
could be in
can
the
kind of
spring,
section
too.
off, the plaza area separately and work on that, as kind of an enclosed area and still allow access to the station. I know the T is certainly, wants to make sure this is a, high use station, so they want to make sure, and again, I know the town's interested in making sure people have access and, use of the town's, accoutrement. So certainly we want to make it, if they can work on both sides, and because I don't think it would take as long to get the Depot Square side done. So I think
agree.
if
That's what I meant, if it was priority.
yeah,
it would be
I think certainly if if there's certainly one, if they say it's one or the other, then I think we'd come to the town and say, which would you have to have first? Start with the Depot Square side and the plaza, or start with the other side. If they can do them both, and again keep them both moving at the same time, I would think they would do that just as well, because that kind of just the clock's moving on both projects rather than we're finishing one and then running into whatever winter or whatever on the other one.
So for the public consumption, because I'm sure they didn't all see it, you're talking about awarding the bid in June, July.
We're talking about, so the bids usually is a filed sub. There's certain categories of work that the filed subs have to bid on. And then the general contractor usually accepts most of the filed subs and puts their own bid. That'll be at the end of June. And then we make an award on the 9th, and we have a 5-day appeal period, protest period that we have to observe. And then so we'd award the contract on the 16th
Of July.
of July.
And it obviously would be written up that it was to start as soon as possible.
Yes.
Not October or November.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's, we had, our North Leominster project that, completed 3 or 4 years ago. They actually built that during the winter. They erected the steel in the winter, and, we can even pour concrete in the winter with, they treat the concrete or whatever. So certainly I can see, and it's a much smaller structure. That was a 4-story structure down there.
Sure.
But this is just a 2-story.
Yeah.
So it's not, certainly as much steel and, I mean, some of the crews, they knocked that out in probably like, I think, 9 weeks, a 4-story structure with steel. So I'm guessing this, you get the right crew and it could probably go relatively quickly. So a lot of the other work can proceed.
Yeah, that going to be mostly prefabricated.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like what they're proposing is prefabbed concrete. So what they basically do, they just swing it into place with a crane and lay it on top of the steel, and it basically it's just kind of flexed over. So when it sets down, it kind of sets into the structure. So which is much quicker than pouring it. So
No, I agree.
So it should move along relatively quickly.
And we're locked into these dates? Just, 'cause I heard
Probably not much.
Mahoma
there's
until the second,
not
but it's
much.
gonna
Not
be
much way
September.
to adjust these, anyways. Really, I mean, it's like again, we've kind of committed them to like we're going to meet whatever you need us to meet and whatever approvals you need and the like. We'll make sure that we're working with the town to get those. But these dates have to be the dates now. But there's really not really, and certainly around the bidding dates. That's a pretty much a 45-day window there. That doesn't have much leeway.
All right. Oh,
I think
sorry.
Selectman Luke
Oh, sorry.
first.
You understand our apprehension, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
I do.
Yeah,
Right.
because it's a good point. I think we all have apprehension over it, and Robert's been the bearer of bad news and taken the abuse for this, just being the bearer of the news. But
Well, if he makes you feel good, he shares it with me.
yeah, no, I'm sure he does because we give it to him,
Very
not at him.
forthright telling us where he's at. So
And there's a lot of doubters and stuff in town, and we're also in litigation with the previous owner. So there's a lot that the town has put out on a limb here to make this happen.
understood.
Because I don't think this would have happened without the town doing what they did. We'd be in the same spot.
Yep.
So we obviously want to see the best project
Understood.
possible completed as
Just,
soon as possible. Rob?
Mr. Chairman, in talking to Bruno leading up to the schedule that was transmitted to the board, extra caution and extra due diligence was put into that schedule that is the definitive schedule. The other thing is that all of the other procedural and requirement activities have also been accomplished. The transfer of the rail trail lot from the state to the town, which was no small feat, and my assistant deserves all the credit for that. That is completed, that transfer. The demolition of the Advocates building had some other surprises in it that have been resolved. also all of the planning board approvals, the zoning board approvals, and I appreciate the planning board and the zoning board of appeals, support for the project. So we've got all of the path is, so upon the board's approval in May of the final deck, it's in Mart's hands on that schedule, and we will move forward.
Okay.
I just have a question in regards to, we were taking over the maintenance of it. We're receiving the funds and taking over the maintenance.
No, actually, I mean, we haven't actually worked that out. But we met with, we've had several meetings with Robert and Carly, kind of chairing them up there, with the police, the fire, DPW, and so I mean, we got a whole list of things that we're going to put in an agreement, and generally the thought was that Matt would probably handle most of that, up to including the surveillance. The surveillance now is like, it becomes so high tech that you don't need to have a direct,
Yeah, we've been talking about
cables,
that.
whatever. It's kind of
Other
wireless. You
places
just
in
log into
town
a
as well.
website, you can see whatever everybody else can see. So, but yeah, we've got the outline of an agreement that covers the snow plowing, removal, upkeep of the facility.
I think to Selectman Luca's question, and obviously that memorandum of agreement will come back to this board for final approval, but just speaking conceptually, like the bathroom facilities, for example, would be maintained by Mart. The plowing, again, by Mart. Now, whether the town does some of that and is reimbursed, that has to be worked out and so forth. But the plan is to have as minimal impact on the town in terms of the maintenance.
Okay.
So it would be Mart.
Well, we're at a meeting, we had a meeting here that there was a number of people in the audience that favored us cleaning graffiti.
Yeah, you're right.
And some of those components, again,
We can
we're
iron that
open
out.
to, right.
Yeah, I mean, it should all be in an agreement so that, and it can be clearly, what Mark's responsibilities, town responsibilities, and, I mean, we're not married to any, doing or not doing anything.
No, nothing against you guys, it's just the fact that,
Yeah, those
We
want
can
to
get to it
turnaround
quicker.
time.
Right, the
Absolutely.
local
I
response.
don't know if
Pick
you
up the
remember
phone.
that. We're
Yeah,
talking.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
I mean-
Fitchburg Police told us the same thing. The quicker you deal with the graffiti and show them that, you have more funds than they do, you'll stop a lot sooner.
Because, Bruno, the minute there is any paint or a chip, Chairman Hillman will be calling you, right?
Yeah.
With your eagle eye.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or
We
trash.
dealt with that down in Fitchburg, and, I mean, it is, the sooner you, and even in North Leominster,
Yeah.
and the sooner you clean it, and the sooner you let them know that, for every time you put it there, we're gonna take it off, they usually stop pretty quick, because they run out of funds quicker than we
Cameras
will.
are a nice deterrent too in small
Yeah.
towns. So.
But this board will review and approve that final MOA.
Yeah.
And,
Once that process is going.
yep.
How does this affect? I'm sorry, Gary, go ahead.
No, the only other question I have is, since we didn't acquire any property, the money that was put aside for that property acquisition, what happens to it?
It's always the same fund, so that, they had to go
Oh,
for
okay.
property acquisition and construction of the building, so it's all just now going into construction of the building.
Okay,
That's
all
in the
right.
building and the depot square.
Okay, none of it goes for the deficit in
No. we get
Washington.
that. This is grant money, and
Okay.
the state and federal part of that
Give me
can't.
an ideas.
Yeah, no, that can't. No, he's probably worried that we were going to use.
No, I don't, I just.
Yeah,
I
there's
was
no
just
way.
curious.
There's no way to retest that money once it's on a project that we can't take it out and say we'll use it in our operation. No,
Right.
it is totally dedicated towards the
Okay.
project.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
And then,
Good question, though.
One more question. Our lot that we obtained for various reasons. For
Zero Park Street.
Zero Park Street for right-of-ways and all that for the fire station. What is the plan for that? I know we had talked about possibly meters and paving, and
Yep.
I know it was kind of tied into.
So two things, Mr. Chair, on that. That lot is Zero Park Street's town lot. The plan is part of the parking study that the superintendent, the DPW, is doing, is looking at, when I say meters, whether it's a kiosk or so forth, that decision will have to be made by the board. And secondly, the superintendent has put in the FY19 DPW budget, because it didn't reach the capital threshold, to pave that lot this season. Pave it and line
You
it.
guys have it in too. don't
And-
you?
It was you listed as a potential spot that we might want to do something with. I mean, at
Yeah,
this
you can
point,
Yeah.
pave it. That's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, so we get.
Yeah, we did definitely talk
That's like
about
mine.
that. So you
That's
can
good with me.
count the number of spaces for your
Yeah.
total number.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the intent is, if
One way or
if
another.
Mohammed wants to pay for it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the goal for the community is to have it paved and lined this spring, summer, because
Well,
it
that
needs
ties
it.
into our whole parking.
And it ties into the whole-
study that we've talked about and
Yeah.
Yeah.
meters and wherever else.
Which is near and dear to everyone's heart, yes.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. All right, any questions, Janice, anything else? Mary?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, Tom?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I don't know if I missed much, I thought it was on the agenda for 7:15.
No, I don't think so.
So I have a couple questions. For years, I've been asking about the retaining wall between the garage and my property, starting with David when he was economic development officer. And I've always been assured that, oh, we're gonna deal with that, and we'll bring you in at the right time. Despite asking, I haven't heard anything about it.
And I've seen, I've worked on the air
Bruno.
conditioning there, I've seen this retaining wall.
Next to
It-
the
it-
seat.
It needs,
Next
It needs-
to, 2 doors down from
needs to be
Lucida.
fixed.
Oh, okay. I know, we talked with the engineer about this when we were down there a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Sorry.
And
No, it's fine.
I know there's going to be some work done then. I don't know if this is talking about a complete rebuild of the wall, but there's certainly going to be repairs made to what's eroded and, but again, I guess I'm not going to speak to the exactness of it because I really don't remember exactly what it is. But I know there's some work scheduled to be done.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, and to Attorney Gibbons, we have consistently said that, and we mean that. We've been out there, George, there's the erosion piece from the parking lot near your property,
Right.
and there is the retaining wall.
Right.
Both will be addressed by the project, and we probably will be in contact with you shortly now that we're finishing up the design phase over there.
And I'm almost always there, if someone's in the office, so
Yep.
I'm not hard to find.
Yep.
I greatly appreciate
Yeah.
being brought in on that relatively soon, if we're talking about July or
I was actually had that question, have the
Yeah.
abutters been spoken? I was thinking of that when you said the planning board, and because that stood out to me this summer, that wall that's, who knows how long it's been there behind
Right.
Tom's property.
Yep.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and then I know that the new concrete retaining wall,
Mhm.
I don't know, you're probably familiar with my area, so that's, the retaining wall that is really deteriorated is behind my building. But in the parking lot, there's a stone wall and then another wooden retaining wall, tie wall. And I know that your new concrete wall is gonna go somewhere in the middle of that. And have you thought about how the construction of that's gonna affect the retaining wall, the tie wall that's already there? And again, if someone can come down, I'm there, but I'd really like to just
Yeah.
know
Sure.
how the impacts are gonna be,
Yep.
what we're gonna do. And then, I'm assuming construction is between 7 and 5, I think we have a town bylaw, just because I have residential tenants that live in that building.
Yeah, I mean, it's state
Usually more
construction,
like 7 and 3.
7 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 would be
Now,
a miracle.
All right. Thank you both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, and
so-
I agree with Attorney Gibbons. It's obviously needs to be addressed. So,
And we brought that up to Larry and Alyssa, as you
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
okay.
they're aware of it. We've been enough all
Yeah.
We will connect.
yep, absolutely.
All right. All right, that's great. Do you have any pull in getting the horrible telephone poles cleaned up across the street from the MBTA or anything good like that for us?
I can
New
try.
train station?
I will tell you, kudos to Carly here. I don't know who she knows at National Grid, but it was performed, like, that was a miracle work. That was
On
done
the
in-
advocates.
That was over at the Advocates
Oh,
building, and then when
absolutely.
we were ready to go, it was like, and all of a sudden, it was, the gas was there, and the electric was there, and a day and a half later, neither of them were
I
there, so.
I had a slight meltdown over the electrical. I drove by. Well, I mean, they told everybody that it was
They did. We were under
that it was that came over the tracks,
Yep.
and I just happened to drop one of the kids off at school. I was driving back, and I went, wait a minute. And I drove in there, and it didn't come in over the tracks at all. And I emailed Carly, and she's
All
like,
I
I sent
heard
a
is,
picture, I think. And you're
it
like,
takes,
really?
once you get on the schedule, it's
Yeah.
somewhere between 1
And I
and 3
think
weeks.
they realized.
Well, they
And
thought you
we weren't even on the
said
schedule, and all of a sudden, she made a call, and a day and a half later, the
Yeah,
gas,
it moved
the gas and the
fast,
electric
yeah.
disappeared, we tore the building down, so that was,
I think you may have forwarded my email. I think I was, yeah, I was just.
that worked out very,
Yeah.
that worked out very
I
well,
tried
again,
not to.
I mean, literally.
Yeah.
As soon as that was done, the building went down, but yeah, we appreciate the speed with which that was accomplished.
Yes, no, it's good work by everybody here. Well, especially Robert and
Well,
Carly.
I assure you,
Credit.
we will stick to, we've got them stuck to the schedule here, and
Yes.
we will make sure this carries through, for sure.
All right, great.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Great.
And
Thanks
the
for coming.
poles that I did mention, that is MBTA, I know.
Yes.
We took down that, we made that, it looks great, you can see the church, but then you got poles that are about 6 feet off the ground.
Yes, and
We actually have finally just, we've been trying to work on some stuff out of Wachusett. We had some electrical issues out there that we wanted to work on. We finally got a hold of some people from Keolis we got directed to because they actually need something from us, so we can put the
Can you
squeeze
hold
on.
them?
So I have the name of their chief engineer that works on the Keolis side, which also manages the maintenance crews. So I can maybe see what I can do about
Yes.
hooking you up
You
with
guys know
them.
what I'm
Yes.
talking about, right?
Yep.
They have those
Yeah.
low, the national.
We'll connect with you
grid,
tomorrow on
Yeah,
that.
MBTA poles.
absolutely.
And they're planting new poles out on Miller Road, so I don't know if that's continuing through or what. but-
I don't know the answer, but
Yeah.
we will find
Well,
out.
people have a tendency to put in the new and leave, not quite so active so quickly on the old, but
Oh, yeah.
I can definitely hook you up with the name of this individual.
Yeah, no, that would be good.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Gentlemen, thank you. Hopefully, we'll see you early
Very
summer.
soon. We'll be wearing hard hats.
And keep
Thanks.
pushing
That's
the,
construction site.
Yeah, keep pushing.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
And please make arrangements to speak with Attorney Gibbons and about. I know you will, but
Thank you.
thanks, George. Thanks, George. Bruno.
All right, guys,
Thank you.
This wasn't all negative. Everybody heard that. Date, July.
Good.
They're going to talk to Tom about the wall.
Of
Yeah,
2018.
and we
2018.
we have done some work for the wall and those concerns.
I'm not worried. No, I have
we'll
no
connect.
concerns about anybody
Yeah.
at this table.
Yeah,
Like I said, I see Gary, we take the credit. You guys do the work, but
Right.
it's just want to make sure that was all taken in by everybody here.
Yeah.
So in August when we're sitting here.
no, and a lot of effort, as I
Having
said,
an
went
aneurysm.
into that schedule is the schedule.
Okay.
I had two,
All right, great. Chief.
from Franklin. Oh, yeah, they, especially here.
Good evening.
Chief,
Hey,
good to see
Chief.
you.
Wyatt.
Good.
Hi. Long time no see.
Chief, first off, everybody okay? I mean, obviously there was a tragic
Yes.
tragedy, but firemen,
Yeah.
I know there's a few injuries.
All the firemen are okay.
okay. Good.
Yeah, both of those were out of town firefighters, my guys. But yeah, they're both good. I talked to both chiefs today.
All right, good.
Yeah.
And good work with that. That was
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
Lousy situation.
a lousy situation and, yeah,
Yeah, not fun.
no.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long investigation.
I'm assuming the buildings, it has to be, it's closed down, right? I mean, obviously
They're actually using the office area, and they're
Okay.
looking for a space in town to move part of the business to.
We're trying to find them a
So if anybody knows a
manufacturing space.
okay. That's good, they want to stay in town.
Yeah, they've been a good neighbor for years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I know.
it's
It's quite
funny,
a shock.
a lot of people, it's
My
nice.
brother-in-law worked there years ago.
People don't know what it is. It's always a good thing when they've been there for a long
Yeah,
time.
right.
Yeah, they're
Right.
kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, very
Yeah.
quiet, except for last Friday.
Yeah, except for last Friday, right.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty loud.
Yeah, I wasn't in the area or enough to hear it, thank
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Yeah, a couple of my guys that live in different areas of town, they thought houses blew up in their neighborhoods.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
No,
Unfortunate. So Chief, you heard about the ambulance rates?
We haven't raised our rates substantially since 2011. And they fluctuate with Medicare. Our rates are based on Medicare plus a certain percentage. Right now, we're at Medicare plus 100. And I'm looking to go to Medicare plus 150. I did a survey of a bunch of area towns, and they took the averages, and Medicare plus 150 puts us a little ahead of the average. There are some towns that are higher than that, but I don't think we need to go there yet. We're still increasing our number of runs every year, and I have no idea when that's going to stop, if it ever is.
I would have thought it would have stopped with the other towns getting
We're
paramedics
like
and stuff. but-
70 calls ahead of where we were last year at this time already.
Well, you guys are
Yeah.
good. You're in high demand, I guess, from other towns.
You know, and this doesn't affect the out-of-town stuff, that we get paid, flat fee for that. It only affects about 29% of our business because the rest of it is subsidized by either Medicare or Mass Health or railroad insurance. So,
So-
So it affects a small percentage of the customer base.
Is that what insurance doesn't pay? I get so confused with insurance, and
They
you submit
pay-
it, and you submit 150, and they pay you $3 or something like that? Is that how it works out?
Exactly. It's about what Mass Health pays. They
Yeah.
get $140 a run from that. Mass Health hasn't raised their rates in about 18 years. Yeah, it's
Huh.
crazy.
At least
Yeah.
insurance rates have stayed the same.
Yeah, and there is Congress is looking at Medicare, because they, it's totally underfunding, and they know it.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
Yeah,
just,
it's only
where's the money
going to
come
get
from?
worse,
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
because you guys get older, not me.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking to
Lucas
do.
in time
is
suspension.
I'm looking to get the board to vote to raise the rates to Medicare plus 150. And that'll let us fluctuate it. I had thought about doing this a couple of years ago, but for about the last 5 years, the Fire Chiefs Associations had a bill in to set the ambulance rates to a higher rate at the state level so that they'd all be similar. And it hasn't gone anywhere, and it's not gonna go anywhere. The insurance industry just squashes it every time it gets up there.
Yeah. We've tried.
Yeah, well, we have. We've written letters, we've gone places, yeah, just isn't gonna happen. So it's time for us to raise the rates.
Gary?
Chief, can you just explain to me what emergency base rate ALS1 and ALS2 is?
Yes, the ALS one is there's certain procedures they can do at the ALS level.
Yep.
So ALS one is one procedure, ALS two is 2 or 3 procedures
Okay,
that they do. It all depends on the call.
okay, right.
And a lot of places bundle all their rates together, but we have, if you see at the bottom of ours, we have like oxygen, defibrillation, so
It's all
all
split
our
up.
stuff is added in after.
And
Depending
none of
on
that's
what you
paid for,
use.
but once you get down to a certain point, Medicare doesn't pick up any.
No, Medicare pays the Medicare rate.
That's it.
And
So no
that's-
matter what
That's what they pay.
extraordinary
Right.
measures go on,
Yeah, and there's no
ambulance, whether it's a
balance
twisted
bill,
ankle or a
you get
stroke.
what you get. If they have supplemental insurance, then you might get a little bit more. But
And specialty care, transport,
yeah, that's like if they had to take a baby in an incubator from, the hospital into Boston or something.
okay. Well, I got
That doesn't happen very often, believe me.
They usually, having a child that was a premium, they usually send the
Yeah,
whole
I mean,
team
a
in
lot
from
of these,
Boston.
a lot of these places like Children's Hospital have their own specialty care units that will come out to the hospital.
That's
but-
what, when
but if
Sarah was
those are-
born, we had that
If
whole
those are
team.
busy,
Yeah.
then sometimes we.
3 doctors,
may
2
have to
nurses,
do
an
that.
ambulance, yeah, it was,
Yeah.
but,
Okay.
I'm so sick of dealing with insurance issues. It just feels like it just consumes us in every aspect of government now.
It
And
does.
in our personal lives as well. I mean, it's frustrating. Anybody have a motion or any more questions?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that the fighter bound be allowed to charge 150%, Medicare plus 150% for ambulance enterprise accounts funding, effective now? Immediately, or is this for the fiscal year?
Yeah, effective today is fine. I'll just get a copy of the minutes to put in my record.
Okay.
It's fine.
Effective today?
Seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thanks,
Thank
Chief.
you.
We'll see you later on.
Yep.
I will be here.
Thank you, Chief.
So they bill $800 and they pay $12.
Yeah, I know. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I wish I could do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I heard you
bill.
do.
I'm going to pay you $6.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I'm really not interested in that.
Yeah,
until
it's
this month.
amazing that
It's a
they get
hardship.
away with that. Kevin, Mr. Johnson, Payroll Benefits Manager. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Hello.
Everyone,
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
Good.
This is the updated draft. Mr. Chairman, I am before you tonight to seek approval for
Sorry, Gary.
That's all right.
a policy of Pregnant Workers Fairness Act policy for the town of Ayer. The Massachusetts Pregnant Workers Fairness Act takes effect on April 1st. couple of weeks ago, I participated in a webinar that was presented by the Mass Commission Against Discrimination. They provided us with a template of a policy that I updated specific to the town of Ayer. That policy was vetted by town council, and over the weekend, we received some editorial comments to the policy that was in your packet, hence the draft for you this evening. Most of the changes from council are on the first page, second paragraph, and it broadened the accommodations we would make with more specific instances, such as frequent or longer breaks, modification of equipment, seating, temporary transfer to a less strenuous or hazardous position, job restructuring, light duty. Those are the comments that were added by council. Upon approval of this policy, we will distribute it to our employees this week electronically with an electronic sign-off, so we'll be compliant with the state law for April 1st. Subject to your questions?
Has a lot changed? I mean, that seems, obviously common sense, but I guess this is the law now, so it's not.
It's the law now,
Okay.
and frankly, the what's in the policy really doesn't change from what the town has provided
No,
in
I
the past.
understand that. I just, yeah.
It just codifies it and reduces it to writing.
Okay. It all seems to make sense.
Kevin, this isn't any different than the state law? It's the same thing? Nothing's added to it?
No.
Okay.
The state provided us the template to use to adopt our policy.
I'm just curious why we have to have a policy if the state has a policy. I mean, I've asked that question before.
As Kevin mentioned, they're requiring on the local level that
Yeah.
it's codified
Okay.
by the executive board and everybody gets a copy and it's signed. It's a compliance issue.
Okay.
So basically, if it goes wrong south, they can throw it on us and not back at the state, is essentially what happens with that, would be my guess.
Yeah, well, Baker signed it when it's a law, so
Yeah, you would think. But
I would think that, okay, it's done, you know?
Well, I think what it also does is it makes sure that all employees of not only town government, but even of a corporation, that just because there's a state law doesn't mean people are actually aware of it.
Yeah.
So by making sure that everyone, right down to, the person who sweeps the floor knows it, then you're covered, because you always have that one individual who wants to cause a fuss, and then you can just
Never.
put this in their face and say, shut up.
And
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm all for that.
Yeah, no, I understand.
You know, it's just that, I just hate duplication of work if it isn't necessary. If you could print out the state law and pass it around, have it signed, fine. If they give you a template to do our own, then that's fine too. As long as there's nothing added to this that, in addition to the state law.
No, there is administratively, as I stated, this will be distributed to the current employees this week. New employees will get it upon hire, and we are obligated to provide a copy to an employee within 10 days of their notification to us of pregnancy.
Okay.
Yes?
I'd like to make a recommendation that the Board of Selectmen approve the pregnancy and pregnancy-related conditions policy as stated by Kevin Johnson, our benefits and payroll manager, and in the packet.
Second discussion. Oh, okay. So I guess we do need a motion
Yes.
to accept it?
And I have an
Okay.
original for your signature this
Okay.
evening.
All right.
Sorry, question?
That was my question.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Mind if I sign it first?
You can sign it whatever way you want.
I'll see you.
If you don't mind.
Thank you all.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Was just one, Carly? One page?
Yeah. And Chris, it looks like Alicia's here for Alan.
Yeah.
So do you want to maybe take?
Then will that be
before
posted
John
up there
Elliott?
in there? Or?
Yeah, I see
Will it be
John's son
posted?
is,
It will.
going with
It'll
the-
also be posted on our
John
website.
just walked
Yeah,
in.
yes,
Okay.
good.
So either way, I just thought.
Yeah, let's do that. Central Lab Compassion Care, do you guys mind just hanging on for 5 minutes? We're just going to take a real quick, Alicia, real quick, so she can get her home. One quick thing. Alicia, do you mind? You don't mind going home a little early, right?
Not at all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good. Good. How is everybody?
Good, thank you.
Great.
So, we were here about the same time last year, and Alan and I have just finished writing the grant application for the FY18 grant, and we will hear about that in July. But the Office of Community Development has been funded usually through grants. We're between grants right now, and when we're between grants, we usually use program income that's available. Certain program income is available, certain program income is not available. So currently, we have, the last time you did this was almost a year ago, and there's been program income transferred into the account, but I need your approval to continue using program income, and what is available currently is $20,982 to approve that to fund the Community Development Office. So that's where we're at.
Well, for the remainder of this year?
That'll
Okay.
take us to 1st of September, and
Okay.
this is an assumption that we'll get a grant, and that will happen in July. We'll hear about that in July, so there'll be the startup of the grant and all that sort of thing.
Okay.
And so if that doesn't happen, we'll be back talking to you.
Yeah, so that's horrible timing, huh? So that after the fiscal year, after town meeting, they find out about the grant? And then if
Yeah.
they don't get the grant, obviously,
Yeah.
Right.
we have to fund the
Yeah,
position. so.
and there's a couple other grants that we're going to be, Alan's not here right now, so this is all premature and everything like that, but we've got everything from the fire station to other things that have to be looked at, but that's what we'll be doing this spring.
Okay.
And so,
I think we've done this every year.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Make a motion that the board approve $20,982 for use by the Office of Community Development through August.
Through August.
Until it runs out.
August.
Is that how it works?
Until it runs out, yeah. That's it.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for
Yeah,
Thank you.
putting me. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
I'm glad to
I'll
get
see
you out of here.
later.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
Good night.
You too.
John, Mr. Lilly, you guys ready to come up?
Grab a chair there, Chris. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good,
How is
good.
everybody?
John, how are you?
Mark coming in too.
Okay.
Nice to see you, John.
Where's Dan?
He is in the men's room.
Dan?
Mark.
No, Dan. I want to know where Dan is.
Dan's calling the call.
I don't want to deal with you guys. I want to deal with Dan.
We answer to all our names. You get called Mark, he gets called Dan.
Okay, call me on.
Bet you
Hey,
too.
you number 1, hey, you number 2, hey, you number 3.
I just wanted to coffee.
Robert, would you want to outline?
Sure. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and for the benefit of the public, before you is Mr. John Hillier from Central Ave Compassionate Care, Mark Hillier from Central Ave Compassionate Care, their council attorney, Chris Lilly, and we're before you, as the board is aware, Mr. Hillier is proceeding with applying for a application for a license with this from the state for the retail marijuana. And as part of that, one of the requirements is the execution of a host agreement between the town, in this case the town of Ayer, and Central Ave Compassionate Care. And Ms. Antonellis and our town council, Mark Rich, along with Attorney Lilly and John, myself and Mark, this board had authorized several months ago the authorization to commence to negotiate this agreement. We have before you what we believe to be the final host agreement for your consideration and approval. Upon your approval, this has to be submitted to the state. I believe the deadline is April 1st. I will let Carly and John speak to the agreement or any questions that the board may have. And we have designed the agreement, which I think makes sense because this is sort of a new frontier for many here, it is a 5-year agreement, but it has an annual reviewing it, so that each year, both parties, the Board of Selectmen and Central Ave, will come together, and there's an opportunity, as things may need to be adjusted or things may change. Finally, into part of the due diligence per the board, we did send out to all town departments, including the regional school district, a request for any potential projects to be included in the host agreement. We heard back from many departments. I think that the agreement reflects the major ones at this time. Additionally, as the board is aware, subject to town meeting approval, and I know that this board supports this, as does the Finance Committee when I mentioned it to them when they come back on the 17th, is the article that will allow the taxation of up to 3%.
That's completely separate
That's-
from the host agreement.
Right. I
Yep.
mean, that's an act of the town meeting, but that will be another revenue stream, if you will, for the town upon that. As I mentioned at your last meeting, the question had come up about impact fees and so forth, and the legislation is pretty clear that there are two ways of looking at just the impact fees, which there aren't in this agreement, but there's a reason at this time. The first is that the impacts can be up to 3% of the gross sales. Well, there is no gross sales yet, because this has yet to, so there is no. The second component is impacts to the existing facility in terms of calls for service and so forth. Now, of course, the new location has yet to be up and running, but I must say that the Central Ave, if you check with both of the chiefs of police and DPW, there have been no calls for service,
No, it's been
which is
fantastic.
a true testament, I think, to John's business and operation. There have been no police or fire calls. There have been no issues with the building commissioner or the health department over the time he's been open. So the
Two
agreement...
separate things, though. I mean, I
Right.
have a question
Yeah.
how this end is going to run it.
Mhm.
It's just when you're in that's going to control the atmosphere to some degree. It's appointments, they can't get into the building without an appointment. A store, obviously, I see what you're saying. The impact, we don't quite know yet.
No, yet.
Because you
So-
don't know who's coming in your door.
Well, this operation wasn't required to have appointments. We brought.
No, and that's what I'm saying.
we brought
Yeah, I
that
know.
in as a good management tool,
Mhm.
and we tend to use the same management up there that we did here. So I think we can expect similar results.
Well, it will be more of a store, though, right? Like a retail store, like a.
Still have to get checked in with a security person before you can gain entrance to the building.
Okay, good.
So
Good,
it's-
and that's why I'm asking questions, because it's good for the public to know, because I know I've gotten a lot of questions
Certainly.
since even your public hearing of how it's going to work, and I don't know, so.
We're
Thank you.
taking a lot of the operational things from Central Ave and basically copy pasting them to a new building. So it's not such as like a liquor store. You can just walk in and shop around.
Good,
and
that's-
have that environment.
And the regulations, have been largely copy and pasted. There's certainly a lot of work that went into the new regulations, but they didn't get any less stringent, the regulations. If anything, they got more stringent, especially where, where the public is concerned and anyone over 21. Now you've got education components that are much more wide-ranging than a medical patient who might understand a little more. So.
Sure, so basically what you're saying is you have it's not just, I want to stop and get a six-pack and I go in the store and no one knows who I am. You're gonna ID.
There's no access to the building without positively identifying that they're 21 and over.
No, that's-
So, and that even goes to the property. So if someone's on the property, of course, they need to approach the building, but no one's ever allowed to stay on the property unless they identify themselves immediately and then come into the store. Otherwise, they'd be asked to leave, so there'd be no loitering or anything like that.
No, I mean, I think that's a great tool for calming concerns for the residents, but I think it's also probably a good safety measure for you guys as well, running the facility.
Yeah, we live this and breathe this and take a lot of what we do for granted. So, like you say, putting yourselves in the public's view to help understand.
Yeah,
what
and that's-
goes
yeah.
on.
So to completely clarify, your retail facility is open, and I've decided I'm going in there. For the record, I won't be. And so I can't just open the door. So it's almost like some jewelry stores do this. Some
Yeah.
smaller jewelry stores, you know, you got to kind of get buzzed in, you know. And some jewelry stores will, do you have an appointment, or is there anything specific you want to look at? And so I've come to the door, and I'm going to buzz to get in, and you're going to first verify that I have a proper ID and I can prove that I'm over 21.
Correct.
I want to clarify that this is pending the Cannabis Control Commission's approval, because they do need to approve our policies and procedures
Right.
before we can say this is definitely what we're going to do.
Right,
But
but-
that's essentially what we intend to do.
Okay. I can't imagine they would not want you to do that, but, you know, who knows?
It's
At
a
least
state-run
especially in the
agency.
beginning. Especially in
If
the
you go to
beginning.
Colorado, you don't have to.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, yeah, this kind of new territory, so, okay. All right, well, that sounds good.
I mean, I heard the ones in Colorado.
You don't know firsthand?
Yeah,
Is
well,
that what you're
I
trying to
went
find?
in, I won while I was out there, just to see what it was like. And it was interesting.
Amsterdam, it's very open in
It was
Amsterdam,
interesting.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I think it's Amsterdam.
we're all into the
Yeah.
unknown here. I mean, and you are to some degree as well. I mean, I know you did a great job over there, and it was better than we expected, quite honestly.
Haven't heard
Not-
I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, and I knew you were going to do a good job with it, but I mean, it's really
Yeah. Haven't heard peep.
yeah.
Haven't heard
No
a
one
word.
knows what's going on there.
We had the unknown there as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the state hasn't been helpful for us or for you really in any way of having guidelines in place, and it's hard to grasp what it actually is. And then every city in Colorado has a different regulation, so it's hard to figure out how it worked there and how the community was good about running it, because some weren't, and they let in 30 stores and it ended up being a free-for-all. So, I mean, it definitely makes me feel better about that. I mean, obviously, it helps because public don't always get.
Yeah, we have a comfort level with John.
Absolutely,
Business,
yeah.
absolutely. And I mean, when you first opened over there, I mean, you were very forthcoming with everybody. You ran tours and everything else, and I think people appreciated it. And everything you said that is going to happen happened. Nothing, which is great. It's not good for Chris because he lives off of the bad stuff. So.
That's all right. I can live off some good things.
Okay.
Do you want to go through the agreement?
Sure, yep. So, what we did was reached out to Mark Ridge. He provided us with a template. And from that template, John and Mark and Chris and Robert and myself have been going back and forth. And then I shoot it to Mark Ridge at the end of the day for some tweaks. But just, it's just general informational clauses on the first page. And what we did include was that the town intends to put forth an article at the town meeting in May to accept the local option tax for the 3% of this total sales price. Then, moving forward, what we've agreed to, as you know already, John funds the Youth Works program for the DPW, which
That worked
is-
great.
it was really great this
Yeah.
summer. 2 4-week sessions, right? With 4, was it 4?
4 each, yeah.
Yeah,
and
4 per
supervisor.
session, and a supervisor.
And Mark Wetzel did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
He had a lot to do, and he got it done nicely, yeah.
Yeah,
So we've got a learning curve, and look forward to going forward and expanding it some in the year's future. if we can.
And John says expanded. That was my next question, and it's separate. But can we integrate that with the park department too? Like I know Marcus did it, but I mean it works so well that maybe we can.
Yeah, we can
Expand
definitely
it
look at
and-
it, yeah. So, that's a cost to Central Ave, it's $30,000 approximately. They'll continue to make charitable contributions up to $2,500 a year, which they've been doing. We've worked John's, as you know, donated to the Ayer Shirley Regional School District for the DARE program. He'll continue to fund that through this agreement. Like Robert said earlier, we had reached out to our department heads and said, hey, what would you find helpful? Chief Pedrazi had put in the funding in the amount of $1,500 for the Student Awareness of Fire Safety Education Program. So we've included that in this agreement. Selectman Hillman, he'll be very happy with the welcome to Ayer sign. Somewhere around the road.
Immediately thought of you.
2012, I've been working on that.
Yeah, exactly. So, John,
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to pay for it.
so that's obviously one-time cost for $12,000 for a sign. Our general conversations have been something obviously more permanent, granite. So, we got some work to do on that. And then Alan had come up with a program, Devon's Crest Emergency Housing Rehab Program. And essentially that fund would be run out of Alan's office, funded by Central Ave, to assist homeowners in the Devon's Crest area with home repairs. He has a list, and John was and Mark and Chris very receptive to the program. It's not quite ready to roll out this year. So what we've agreed to is over the next year come up with program guidelines and how we're going to run it. And John and Alan and I, Robert, will work closely to actually articulate the program. But we really liked it, and where the proposed location is right across from Devon's Crest.
Is that kind of? That makes sense. Like in a butter, almost like a budding neighborhood.
Yep. So it'd be almost like a neighborhood association, working with the town and Central Ave. Then operating. John's going to give preference. He's going to endeavor to give preference to Ayer residents for employment. We have a clause in here that will work with the police department to develop and implement the security measures, cameras and so forth, such as Central Ave. And then the rest is just kind of legal, back and all the standard stuff town council throws in. And like Robert said, the maximum length of any host agreement can be 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we went for the 5-year agreement, and talking with Central Ave, we said, obviously things change rapidly, and we want to put in a provision that if we'll sit down once a year, I'm sure it'll be more than that, but hey, we need to tweak here and here. We wanted to be able to do that. So that's all written into the agreement.
That's a good idea for both sides, actually.
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Yeah.
because
I like
we're
that.
Completely.
Our hope is that we can expand things like the Air Youth Program and other programs that are successful and build on them as the years go. Yeah.
So that's the meat of the agreement.
Are you still? Is it still? I mean, and maybe you get more info than we do. I mean, most of ours is from the media for the most part. And the board hasn't been really forthcoming. July 1st is still the rollout, because I heard something over the weekend about. I guess it was a convention in town, so the media was talking about it possibly not being ready and all that. Are you still hearing that? That's going to be.
Yeah, July 1st. Yeah.
That it will be ready to go.
Yeah, that's what I understand. You as well.
Yeah, that's what our target is.
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys will be ready to go. I'm just don't. The state's going to have all the regulations and stuff. Yeah, we're getting.
I think they're doing wonderfully.
Yeah.
They're moving along with a lot of issues, and they update us when they have something concrete. Of course, if something's still in the works, we don't hear too much. But when they've got it done, they hand that off to us so that we can move forward. And I think they're doing a wonderful job.
They met today, and as I understand, everything is still on their timeline.
So you guys already applied?
Our application will go in the first part of April.
Oh, okay. And then, do you know the process from there, how long it takes?
So there's.
I'm just curious.
The beginning part is new. It's a certification period where they realize that we can't just apply in April 1st, but they need to certify us April 1st or April 2nd. April 1st is, and so that certification we expect to be pretty easy. I think they
Yeah.
know who we are, and then the application, well, will go right in behind that. So,
Yeah, I would think obviously they have a history with you, so
yeah.
they must take that into account, right?
Yeah, the DPH is been our governing body.
Mhm.
This is a new body, but there are members that have moved over there, and I think all the good, intellectual property that the DPH has developed
Yeah.
is now owned by,
Okay.
or will be by the CCC, yeah.
Have they learned from past experience?
So Massachusetts learned a lot from
That's what, no,
from
that's what I mean
Colorado
from, no, from as far as going from medical to retail.
That's an interesting question. I think things are more, some things are more regulated than originally. Like when you look at edibles, right now in the medical side, there's really no dosage limit. But when we're going into the adult use side, any edible will be limited to 5 milligrams per serving. So that's a very conservative amount. It makes good sense. And then
So that's on what you can sell, restricted, is a restriction on what you guys can sell, like an amount per person?
per piece, yeah, or per
Okay.
serving, so
Okay.
to speak, yeah.
So there'll
And
be
then-
little gummy bears, real little ones.
No,
Oh,
no
okay.
gummy bears.
Okay.
But the point being that there's very small dosage in
No animals.
And the trend in the industry really is towards what they call microdosing, even pieces that are like 1 milligram, many pieces of 1 milligram, so that you can really regulate your dosage very accurately. And the testing and the processing that we've developed and others have developed, and the labs are still doing a wonderful job, is getting better and better. So we now can test a product, send it out, and we can get it back within sometimes 3% of what our target was, which is incredible. And at first we were seeing numbers, much different, that products that we couldn't use because they were very.
Sure.
But it's a good time for the adult use. I don't feel like we're going to have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
We're conservative, and they've done a great job in the state. So.
If I can just add a little bit, because we do joke quite a bit about gummy bears, gummy worms. There is, in the edible regulations, we cannot, per regulation, not that we would want to, but make an edible that resembles anything like a popular candy or an animal or a figure or anything like that. Everything has to be labeled.
Including the colors, too, if I remember correctly. Even the packaging color, it cannot be a color that would attract a child.
Exactly. Everything will be child-proof, and each customer is limited to the amount that they can actually purchase in a visit. So
I guess that was my question. So you have a maximum, I don't know if it's weight or potency, but I mean, someone can't come in there and spend $10,000 on a visit and load up a van.
They can buy an ounce at maximum, and there is like conversions for if they purchase edibles or concentrates or something like that.
Okay.
So an ounce relative to the form that it takes, which is not a huge amount compared to the medical market.
How about liquids? Like tank.
Sodas and teas and things of that nature.
You can do an infused beverage. Again, it's still subject. It can't mimic anything that's commercially available or is attractive to children.
Right, obviously, yeah.
And you cannot have multiple servings in one beverage. So one beverage could be 5 milligrams, whether it's tiny or huge. You couldn't have a 20 serving size can or anything like that.
That makes sense.
There's also an icon that will be used identifying THC, which is very important for parents to understand and educate children around.
Yep.
So that any edible would be a single. If it's a single 5 milligram piece and it goes in a bag with other single pieces, each piece has to be labeled with this sort of a triangle THC.
Okay.
So it's identified as a cannabis product. And then but if they're in bigger pieces wrapped, then the wrapper has to have that on it. So So there is a lot of thought that's gone
Oh, yeah.
into it.
It's a lot behind it. It's not just opening up the back of your truck and selling, is it?
Not at all.
That's what currently happens. That's why it's been legalized to me. Not by these gentlemen, but other people illegally. I had a question. Go ahead.
Just one question through the chair, John. John hosted a public meeting, which he was as part of the requirements was last week. It was very well attended, and since then, we've got a lot of inquiries that have been referring to you, whether they've contacted you or not. But I think my question, Mr. Chair, maybe as this is a public forum, which would be helpful, is there's been a lot of questions or concerns about what the new location is going to look like, and I think you had some. Was that?
That
I
was
think you
my
had some
exact
great
question,
answers
yeah.
because a lot of people asked, and just for the benefit of the board, people
please.
are thinking that
We
about
know.
the
We know.
signage.
You explained it. It's just we get it afterwards. You know what I mean? Like people don't always follow along until the end. We get a lot of questions after town meeting.
Yeah.
So it's just questions that we've heard and.
So maybe you could just
asking
briefly
publicly for
explain what the
bones of the building, the look of the building is wonderful. We definitely are going to preserve that nice sort of colonial look to it, and there will be no neon signs or
leaves painted on the
images
side
of
or anything like
cannabis
that.
or anything like that. Yeah, no, it will. Yeah, it'll all be tasteful, well done. The sign that's there now is illuminated from the inside. That has to go. We would, if we're going to use that, we would replace it with some sort of wooden carved or something that would be lit from from the ground or something of that nature. The two largest trees on the corners need to come down, as well as a lot of the trees along the property line need to be cut back, and also along in the back, just to allow visibility, and then there'll be some fencing, of course, around the property. So from the outside, it'll definitely still have that flavor it did, and it'll look nice. The landscape, of course, I think we can.
You guys can handle
take
that, right?
care of that, hopefully. So it'll be respectful.
The question I had today, we got this morning. I read it real briefly. It said, and Carly answered it, but it said at premises, plural. Could you explain that a little bit more? You explained it today. It made sense, but I can't read it.
Just essentially what is going to be happening at 38 Littleton Road, what's going to be happening at 31 Central Ave. Just this kind of stuff we added on that front page.
Just to that, I want to make sure that that's just not going to end up a retail location as part of this agreement. And I know you've said that. When I saw that plural, I asked.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
We basically, to do what we want to do, we have to apply for several licenses to continue operations that we're already doing. So in the agreement, you'll see that we're applying for licenses at 31 for cultivation. We intend to do both production at 38 and 31. So we're really applying for several licenses, but we're not going to open up 2 retail stores.
Okay, that was the question, because what you do there now is that's what you do there now, the medical side in that building. So you have to apply and wrap that in with the other license, is what you're saying?
In order to take the inventory that we produce in our cultivation at 31 Central Ave and move it to an adult retail store, we have to hold a separate license. So we're applying for several tiers of licenses.
No, that just stood out with me, and I just didn't know how it was. And Carly explained it made sense, but I couldn't.
But to be clear, retail meaning adult use at 38 and medical.
Compassionate Care is going to stay a medical
yes,
facility, which you can harvest product there for use at.
Correct. Either.
Sure, because it's got to come from somewhere. So
we really want to, although the research and the numbers kind of tell us differently, but we're going to give it a whirl. That the medical, we want to preserve that here and keep it there, so that medical patients have their own facility to go to that tends to their particular needs, and then the needs of the adult use are met up here at 38.
So I guess what you're saying is you don't know that was my next question. You have no idea what the medical end could be, because with
It's
medical cards and stuff, this could be.
You've got the numbers on Colorado and what went where and.
Yeah, I mean, our hope is that we can preserve the medical side of what we do. That's why we jumped into this in the first place.
And I know, John, if I'm correct, I think you were not exactly thrilled about it becoming legal. I mean, if I recall, I don't think it was anything you were pushing for.
Yeah, I mean, as
first.
time went on, my feeling was medical didn't have the chance to get as established as it could have.
Yep.
Before
I agree.
Before we went to where it did. I mean, the voters voted, and we're okay with that. We're going to carry out the will of the voters. But just being in there and seeing how little time we had to operate medically before this attention got turned here was a bit of, in my mind anyway, just a bit limiting for the medical. So. But we still have a lot of hope. We've got great people in there that are reaching out. We do work with Virginia Thurston. We've done work with the Y in Fitchburg, and we're doing outreach to groups so that folks can understand how cannabis can help them in their medical treatments.
So part of the purpose of also having the medical still open is that if, for example, I got sick and needed that to help me feel better, I would think that maybe if I went to the medical dispensary on 31 Central, I would get the particular potency or product that I would need for my whatever my particular condition was. And going to 38 Littleton Road would be, I'm not sick, I just want to go shopping.
Attention is a big part of it too. We have a consultation room where a person can go and sit with one of our staff members and chat in private. We've done it for hours with patients that just really need extra support and help, and that's not a service that will be available in the adult use retail location.
In the medical, dose, the amount is higher, concentrations for things can be higher. Where the need is,
Does anybody, I guess the other question was, police-wise, is there anything that's been, is it retraining for the police department? I mean, I know I mean, is this going to become an issue in terms of driving while? And this is irrelevant to these gentlemen, I'm just asking, like, in terms of deciphering whether someone, it's pretty easy to tell, or know if someone's drunk, if they've eaten a cookie. Is there retraining for them to recognize the fact that they're high?
I think they would already know because
I don't know.
Even before it became legal, I mean, there was always somebody
I
doing
think
it.
that's more of a statewide concern and something that comes up in court quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I guess the question was there's no other tools, and like Chief Murray didn't bring up anything in terms of any type of sensors or anything that they would need, separate from the rest of
That's
that.
also when dealing with the imbibing of it and then going out and driving, which has always been prohibited.
Oh, no, I understand, but I know it, I've read a few things about, the rise in driving while high, and, whether that correlates with this or not, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I can follow up with Chief Murray, and I know he's going to be before you next week with some items. We could ask him then too, but I know that he and his department have worked well with John and his folks, and are looking forward, I know, to work with you on the security components at the new location as well. But Selectman Hillman, I can follow up with the chief, and I know he'll be here on the 3rd. I don't know the specific answer.
Yeah, no, I know, it had nothing to do with, it's just late, it had nothing to do with these gentlemen, it's just, is there gonna be different equipment or breathalyzer or some type of testing? But like you said, they probably already trained for oxycodone and Percocet and all that stuff too.
Yeah, probably that was their least of their worries.
Okay.
Does anybody have anything,
No.
anybody have any questions in the audience? Everybody's good? Can you state your name, Jason? I'm sorry, can you?
Oh yeah, Jason Leone, Holly Ridge Road. Is this location a done deal? Because I live in one of the 3 neighborhoods really close, and it's causing me a lot of concern. The kind of uncharted territory that we're entering into. So is this a done deal, this location?
We closed on the property 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, yeah. We've started the renovations inside in terms of like emptying the building out. And now we're trying to get the design and layout. But if there's anything, before we leave, I want to just give you my contact information, and then we can, I'd like to chat with you any way I can help. Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you.
And to go back on it, Jason, I voted against it a few years ago, and for reasons, like that stigma of the town.
Yeah.
These guys have been absolutely first class in terms of how it's run. So, I mean, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the way they, I shouldn't say surprised, but they do it different than other people would do it. I think that's why we stopped at the one license and felt comfortable with that if we were going to do it. So I understand your fears, but I think you'll be.
Yeah, this was comfort.
Yeah, there's a couple of things too that made me feel better. Anybody else? Hey, John. Would you?
Someone in the audience.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, Jack Wolf with Shoe Washington. Just a question, I didn't hear very well. There's a possibility of 3% revenue tax to the town.
Yes.
Can you explain that? I just didn't hear before.
So it was put in the, if I'm correctly, that was part of the state regulations, that would be the revenue stream for the town on top of regular property taxes and all. So the town can tax up to 3% of gross sales. Is it? Is that?
Yep.
So we're hoping that John has, really does a fantastic job up there.
At a town meeting to
Correct.
request approval for that. So which town meeting would that occur at?
So through the chair, that warrant article will be on the May 14th annual town meeting. So on Monday, May 14th is the town meeting, and there will be an article from the Board of Selectmen with a recommendation from the FinCom to adopt it. So the voters would have to adopt it. Then once that goes into effect, it's a local option. So 3% of all of the gross sales, once they get operational, 3% comes back to the town. Now, we don't have, because this is sort of the new frontier on this, we don't have, we're talking with Ms. Cabri and others, we don't have any base projections yet, but whatever those will come back. Like we have a local option on the meals tax, so it's a similar option.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yep.
I just have one more question for John. John, would you be willing to be one of our first new companies to landscape one of the nice big islands at the Rotary?
Oh, I think we are doing the grass, right?
Yeah, so we've changed the program because as it started, I think I approached you originally and then we
Well, I should say through Turf Logic, we've been, I think it's like 90,000 square feet between.
You're still doing that with the seating and the.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
and I appreciate that. Yeah.
5 applications a year.
Yeah, they do it.
We aerate and oversee every year. So yeah, we've been doing that now. I think for like.
Yeah, I wasn't sure you were still doing that.
5 years or so, yeah.
And not part of the agreement, but just I brought the program up and I thought it was going to be a good idea, and I think it kind of was, but it didn't work in terms of people were adopting an island, planting a sign there, and letting it turn to hell. So we're trying to. I think Alan is supposedly working on a new idea, right?
Right,
So
with
like,
the state.
similar to like the flower boxes in Fitchburg or something.
Yeah,
like
it's just that
So,
we were going to do it. I think we refunded it to do hire someone to do it, right? And the reason I ask is I know your other business is in that, so just something to consider.
Turf Logic will certainly keep donating that time and labor through the year to keep the grass going and so forth. But Central Ave, if there's like flower boxes or signs or something like that. I mean that's our neighborhood now, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the welcome to air sign is going to be great wherever we decide to put it, and whatever the design will be. But
So just real quick, now, where we're at on that is both Alan and Superintendent West are working with Mass DOT for those islands, because the soil is trying to plant stuff in it, is to have of course, approved by Mass DOT, like planters, if you will, these nice,
Sure.
planters and so forth. So I think what the chair's getting at is
Yeah.
if you'd be interested in supporting one of those, it's going to be through probably Mass DOT, but we'll be looking for
Yeah.
sponsors.
That's
Sponsored
great.
by or maintained by,
It's like a
Central
splash of
Ave.
color, it would flowers in a pot.
Yeah,
yeah,
And then
yeah.
the pots go away and the flowers.
And that's how it was intended, and what we ended up
Right.
with is someone throwing mulch down and getting 12,000 cars a day of free
Yeah.
advertising for
Okay.
a sign in the middle of crabgrass.
Yeah.
The departments are going to come back to you guys in the spring with options on these, because they have to be approved through Mass DOT, what these are going to look like.
I mean, you've been very generous in the past, John.
Absolutely.
With the Christmas lights and.
And no one asked
Holiday
John
lights,
to.
They look beautiful this year, huh?
They were the best around this year for our
Dave's
community.
landscape, I happen to know Dave from way back, and
They're great.
Dave does a hell of a job putting Christmas lights up, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Nice.
But John, to John's credit, that was something he just started to do.
Oh, we
he opened
appreciate
up
that.
with the- and I wasn't sure you
Turf
stood there
Logic supported the Rotary.
with the Rotary.
It's been very
And I know
helpful.
you helped out with some pruning some trees and stuff, so that'd be great. Anybody else?
I don't think so.
Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Selectmen approve the host community agreement with Central Ave Compassionate Care Incorporated as outlined tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 We have two originals. John, if you want to, we'll pass it around each way. And then this is just a letter that goes on top from just the selectmen saying that we did enter into the agreement. That goes with his application.
I don't think so. That would just come from the town.
One question I didn't have, that's a big building. I didn't realize how big it is.
I know
Do
it.
you guys plan on using the
It was a
whole-
bank at one point.
I know it's got a second floor and I don't know if it was like a hall or you can rent. I mean, is that,
Did we get egg rolls?
is it a bigger building? Is it a
The
bigger
ones we
building?
found under the chairs.
Oh!
Hey, can you make egg rolls with your front?
Oh, that's just.
THC.
Geez, what bank was it?
Was
Was
it
it
bank?
IC years ago and then they moved to Park Street? What bank used to be over in that property?
So John, you can keep that. It was the Lowell Bank.
It was a Lowell Bank? Oh, that's
Five.
right. It was a savings and loan, wasn't it? Yeah. I think it was a savings and loan, Lowell savings and loan.
Apparently, it was open on the inside,
Sorry, no
like,
blank.
it's 2 floors
Yeah.
now, but it used to be open right up to the cupola on top.
Oh, really?
So you go into the bank and you could see straight up.
How similar to maybe next door to that? They have
With
it
the
open.
offices
Yeah.
around this, yep.
Do you plan on utilizing that entire building for, so you're gonna, I'm assuming you're gonna segregate the store to a certain location and then use the rest for offices or?
Yeah.
Is that the plan?
So it looks like the, the front half will be a store,
Mhm.
processing in the kitchen, after that's been, replaced. And then, but in the meantime, we'll put our offices upstairs, at least Mark's and myself, and while we're building and doing all the construction work and things like that.
Do you have, I'm assuming you must have a general manager that's gonna run this as, I mean, it's gonna, I'm assuming you two split it up. You're gonna split time between the two.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're definitely gonna be splitting time between the two.
Sure.
But we've got a great sort of feeder here because the folks that we're hiring and training, we can move along and just keep moving forward. So Mark spends at least half of his week just interviewing and going through resumes and trying to find the right people. So there's a lot to do for sure.
And for people who haven't been, I happen to do some HVAC work there. The security is like, it's not just like a free-for-all now. Everything is, you can't go here, you can't go there. We had to put certain screens on ductwork and stuff because, and I believe everything's counted for, right? And at the end, the waste and all that, and it's not just throw it out in the.
Yeah. We know.
If you're getting a job there, you're not getting any more access to
No.
plants as anybody else.
We know that if we leave flour out while we're packaging it for a couple hours, and it happens to be sunny in there, we know that the moisture loss is gonna be 1%, of weight just sitting on the counter. So
Yeah.
that's how
That's
sensitive
money.
the tracking is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty, I know you had a specially designed a system for the growing area, so I mean, it's pretty sophisticated.
Yeah,
Um,
it was impressive when I did
How many
the tour.
employees do you have now?
26, I believe.
Wow.
We thought we were gonna have 12.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
We're looking to bring on 4 more. We have 4 open positions right now, so.
This is just over here? Or are you gonna have to, are you gonna be able to?
It's
staff?
partially gearing up to expand, but yeah, hoping to be at 30 in the next month or so.
And these positions are 4-year degree, 5 years experience in related in whatever field, whether it's financial or that we're looking at. So they're they're higher paying professional jobs as we're going forward, along with part-time retail people that just like people and want to help them out. So there's always a need for that as well.
Nice.
So, yeah, great. Thank you.
Hours of operation?
Thank
Similar like a liquor store?
Yeah, regular retail hours. I can't say we're staying open till 11 o'clock at night. I mean,
No, good.
yeah, no,
But
that, I wouldn't be
24/7.
comfortable going out the gate with anything like that. But regular retail hours. I don't know, like even the latest I could see going out the door, starting up would be like 9 o'clock. I wouldn't be, too comfortable. We're going to go slow and like we
Fill
did
it out.
here and kind of
Yeah.
roll it out as we go, yeah. So, yeah.
Good.
And for anybody that has questions at home, we can't always answer them. Most of the time we can't, so
Right.
John and Mark are very
Please.
approachable.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, reach out, leave a message. Robert's forwarded calls to me.
Yep.
And we definitely want to make ourselves available, to the townsfolk.
Because it baffles me sometimes with the people that watch this meeting and just realize that this is gonna happen.
Some people who were very concerned about the zoning bylaws, but weren't concerned enough to show up to vote for the zoning bylaws, are upset that the bylaws got passed.
Well, that's just par for the course, and that's just.
And were surprised when I informed them.
And Jason, I'd encourage you to reach out to John.
Yeah, we'll connect now, yes. That's good.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Wish you.
Chris. Nice seeing you.
John, I was going to see you.
Soon.
You're welcome.
Gary, how's it going?
Good.
Good, yeah?
I know I haven't been by
Are
right.
you relaxing? You look relaxed.
Yes, I am.
Good.
Matter of fact, I might be looking for a part-time position, but.
All right.
Good to see you, Jim.
Yeah, it's good
All right,
stuff.
take care. Thank you. Seeing you.
Thank you, Mr. Willie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris.
So the host agreement is basically the license, I guess. I mean, like, I know with like liquor stores, we have a liquor license. Like, is that going to be something the state will roll out? I know it has nothing to do with
So
these
the
guys.
second piece of paper you signed was just a certification that we did it.
Mhm.
They wouldn't consider their application complete unless you guys had signed that.
So that's stuff we work
So-
on later on.
Well,
yearly.
so we're like
Well, the
out
sta-
of it now.
Right, because the
essentially.
state gives the license.
Yes, the state issues a license. It doesn't go through the local, like a liquor license. This is just a piece of it. So for medical, you didn't have to enter into a host agreement. For adult use, you have. And you have to do the community outreach hearing. You have to meet this buffer zone with the
Yeah.
300 feet, and then
Yeah.
then it just goes to the state, and we're basically out of it because they've complied with all the local.
And is
requirements.
so it's not the ABCC that so it'd be
It's the
the
Cannabis
the
Commission.
Cannabis Commission.
Yeah.
Yep, and they take it from.
We could have
here.
a town license. Right.
Oh, like a business license, like they
Yeah.
have to have a regular business license anyways, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't need, they would get a business license through the town clerk's office
Yeah.
just to open like their checking account or whatever, their DBA license.
Oh, you're saying like a license, like a separate license for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where we limited it to one, I don't think that we need to do that, but I need to figure
Right,
it
right,
out,
right.
obviously.
Yes, yeah. And then assuming that if town meeting passes the local option, that 3%.
Why wouldn't they? Like,
I believe
I
that-
mean, I just
yeah.
don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the biggest thing is that at town meeting is that we stated here tonight saying that that's like the max,
Right.
right? Is that they're gonna want to say, well, why can't we do more? And it's gonna keep getting missed when we say we're doing it at the max.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
I
Well,
think
saying
that's going to be the biggest thing.
I'm
that
already
people
picturing the
will-
same three people in my head getting
Yeah.
up and asking the
Yeah.
same questions.
Right.
But,
So my recommendation would, not that anyone ever reads it, but put it in
You mean the warrant?
The
Or you
warrant.
re-
put it in that,
Yeah.
the explanatory note
That's the
saying
3%.
this is the max.
That's a good point. Right.
and that it's revenue for the. I mean, we don't know what we're going to do.
Right,
with it,
the
but we
Department
could
of
put it in a
Revenue
fund,
actually-
This fund, that fund. I mean, whatever we.
I think-
general fund.
Yeah,
whatever.
we actually asked Lisa, we think because it would be like the sales tax, it would go into the general
General
fund.
fund, okay.
But then we could kind of, with the sales
So
tax, we
that's
put
like-
it to OPEB or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
We
Well,
could
yeah.
kind of direct it.
Yeah.
Locals or receipts it goes to.
Right, the
Right.
general
And
fund.
what is the percentage of the meals tax? Like what percentage do we tax? I can't remember.
0.75?
No,
It's less than that, isn't it?
no.
It's under 1.
6.25, and then
Yep.
usually they do 0.75 to
You're
get
right.
it up
I
to
think it was.
7%.
You're right.
Right.
I think you're correct. Right.
Yeah.
Thought it
So I
was
mean,
more than
to
that.
get an idea, the meals tax generates. We're up to about $100,000 now.
130.
130.
And that's at
$130,000
0.75,
at 0.75,
so 3%
3% on
of
something.
100,000.
I didn't mention it, but he's pretty much got a monopoly right now, and he doesn't air. But I mean, I don't think other communities anywhere around here have done it, or they've all
I
done
don't know, Fitchburg
moratoriums.
approval license?
They're just talking about zoning and
Meth.
notifications.
Oh,
What?
Fitchburg is still trying to pay John Fitchheimer.
So I mean, it could be very significant.
No, and like
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
talking with Ms. Cabri about it, that will be the new frontier because we have no baseline. When we did the local meals tax, we at least estimated about 60,000 that first year. It's up to like 130.
Right,
Yeah.
So, for example,
And that was
just
12 because it was I think my first.
if he did
meeting
$1
was
million
like-
in gross sales next year, it'd
Yeah.
be $30,000 to the general fund at 3%. We'll see.
Yeah, no,
But that's a good point about the note, because there are people who've already asked, can we tax more? Set by the statute, 3% is the highest.
Right.
We can't go higher.
Right.
We could have went lower, but we wanted to go with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why- I mean,
Yeah, we wanted to go with
And
the high.
even Mr. Hilliard had no objection. I mean, why wouldn't you go to the maximum?
Exactly.
it makes no sense. I just always get nervous with.
we can probably discuss at some point where that money's gonna go. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not even subject to town meeting, right? Because we don't want, can amendments been put on that 3% saying it should go to
No. In other words,
tax
because
relief for
the statute,
taxpayers?
it clearly, it's a town meeting's authority is whether or not to tax it.
Okay.
And it goes to the general fund, just like
Okay.
the meals tax. Now, we have made policy decisions
Right.
on the meals tax. We could do that, but
Well, I would think too, once we find out, once he's had, the
Yeah.
first sales.
Yeah.
And we find out, like the first 3% payment.
Mhm.
And then we can kind of extrapolate from there how much the following year.
Is that how we set it up? Would it
Is
be
that we
yearly
can then-
or quarterly?
Well,
That's a good question.
it's of the yearly gross sales, is what he said?
yeah.
So it's based. So it'd be a one-time. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so once we've got the first, so the first time
I know what
we
you're saying,
get the
yeah.
payment,
What do we
it
have
might not be that
It
big.
should-
But then we can
See if we can
extrapolate
do
from there what a full 12 months would be or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
I
And
understand.
then from there, we would have a general idea as to what kind of revenue would be coming in from that.
Of course.
And then be able to make the policies decisions
Right.
of where that
Yeah.
money
So
should
wait
be
and see.
guided.
Let's
Yeah.
get the money.
Yeah.
I think it could be significant. I mean,
I
meals
think it could be
taxes-
significant, and I think then we can then
Yeah, what
guide
do we
it
do
and
with it?
say,
We-
I
put it
think they
towards-
go right to the, just similar to this extra sales tax, it will go right to the Department of Revenue. They'll report it to the revenue, then we'll see the funds on our cherry sheet or however that
Yeah.
works
Yeah.
out. I think that's quarterly with the sales tax, but I don't think they've gone that far with this local option.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
We
a
will,
good idea.
we'll find out how that. those
Either way,
details work.
Gary, hopefully it will. If it's significant, it will be a tax break to some if we do it right.
Yes.
Whether we pay,
Yes.
this
Oh,
or
no,
that.
absolutely.
Right.
Hopefully we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Find some good uses for it. We can always find good uses for extra money. All right, well, that went well. I have if you recall, we had the Russian mob in here when we first gave that him the license. So I'm glad we passed the one license because you have had no calls from other perspective.
We get a lot of calls, especially Carly gets a lot of calls. What right now, the 7 Point out of Chicago, they're pending. That's just a grow facility. The calls we get, I mean, we continue to inform the callers that per the Board of Selectmen and town meeting that there's one retail license and there's this one provisional grow license and that's it. But we still are getting. We get a lot of calls.
That's what I saw on the news. People were saying,
Place we should
there's no place to go. All these towns are, which I have a feeling those amendments will be.
We can.
I think once this is
pushed
rolled
out of
out
the way.
and you start seeing this, I think,
Yeah, these towns they're going to be challenged.
yeah, they'll be challenged, and then I think that some towns may even decide that they want to change because they may have said no, and then start seeing the revenue coming in and saying, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I agree.
What I was encouraged to hear, because most of the calls we're getting now are concerns about the aesthetics of this facility, and John didn't really mention, he mentioned at his public meeting last week, is that also the regulations prohibit, he can't do any sales, he can't do like sandwich board signs, he can't do like signs you see like it's can't
There's
do,
not going to be an ad on
like
Purdy
you've
Park
seen it,
on the
right? Or
fence.
So it'll be almost like driving by Central Ave.
Right,
in a
exactly.
sense,
Like-
it's just going to be
Oh, I
like
didn't know that.
quiet.
That's
You'll be
good.
like
"What's
some
that?"
package stores have all, he can't do any of that in the windows. So I mean, it's going to be
Buy one,
Back
get one
stores, I
free.
think you can, right? It's like flyers out.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. All right, good. I'm glad we asked those questions, whether anybody watches this or not.
I have no doubt that it will be fine, judging by the way he's been operating.
Right.
Yeah, and it could be a nightmare with the wrong person, so, I mean, I'm glad we got what we have.
I just have a question on,
Oh, yes,
a
Selectman, sorry.
comment on something.
Okay.
I took some pictures, actually I gave them to Carly, I don't know if she could bring them up in the Mondo.
Oh, was it the ones you showed me about that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I could.
Yeah, we're talking about
I just have to.
the
Yeah.
same thing, yeah. I actually had asked, I sent an email, I don't know if I copied everybody, but the agenda for the
Yeah.
railroad ties.
Yeah.
Adopting.
Oh yeah.
Us.
yeah. I took some pictures
Oh
today.
good.
And I took, actually.
This
it's funny.
was just one
And
location.
this is funny that Gary did this because I took the emergency access road by my place today because they're doing the culvert thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
And just with the leaves down, you should see the 100 years of just throwing the swamp.
I mean, you can't imagine that there's that many.
There they are.
And this is the stuff in plain sight. You take a few steps
Yes.
into the woods. It's
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
that's been there for what, 3 years now?
I believe those are new ones. Okay, I have a picture of the old, I
Yeah.
believe those are the old ones.
Yep, you're
This
right.
is at the Willow Road, I mean,
No.
Sandy Pond.
Sandy Pond.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other junk there, but I'm sure they're using it for something.
This is the MBTA and Pan Am's dumping ground, Air Mass. This is where it's going to end.
I mean, I'll even volunteer to count them if we want to find them.
Yeah.
Just
I don't do-
like I
I
said,
got nothing to
and
do
that
anyway.
stretch from Willow Road
Yeah.
to Wagon Road, there's thousands that are just thrown. And I would ask, I think we should have Joanne from Conservation attend, because there's definitely, I mean, you
Yeah.
see creosote ties floating in wetlands.
Yeah, is there anything we can do to?
So, obviously, it'll be on the agenda for next week, for the 3rd, that in talking with town council, municipality, and this came from Selectman Hillman folks he had talked to with the railroad, is that communities can fine the railroad
Thanks, ladies.
for...
Thank you, nice to see you. And we're on
Thank
next
you.
Tuesday too.
If you got nothing to do.
Yeah. Have a good night. Hope you're feeling better with your foot.
So municipalities can fine railroads for just those pictures you showed, for railroad ties, that, I mean, some of them, if you have small trees growing through them.
It's
and other, I mean, I think it became sort of a rail yard, so in talking with council, which we'll do on the 3rd, the first step in the photos will be helpful, because we've got our people taking photos as well, is there's a legal notification to them with the photos, that, with a very short window for compliance, and then we can find, the concerns are right through the corridor, the concerns over at the platform,
Everywhere.
those conditions. And that Willow Road area, that fence is open all the time, there's a portable toilet, a lot of debris, and, I mean, there's, I
That's
would think from a
MBTA.
security, that's the MBTA,
Yeah.
so now, more than ever, we need to get them to,
There's a stack at Wagon Road. Robert saw it when he came down
Yeah.
for the cover thing. That's, maybe 50 ties that have been right at the crossing for a year now.
so for the record, if we do have to count them, you'll volunteer.
I'll volunteer to count.
It's-
Okay.
I don't count very well, but
It just go high because it's
okay. No, that's what I mean.
So how it was spilled to me or slipped to me
Yeah,
is that talking to the gentleman, they said, well, we do remove the ties in the communities that we get penalties for. And I said, oh, really? And they said, yes, there are communities that fine us heavily. Ties can only stay in a location once. And Chief, I think you've had to move them too, right? Like, I mean, they're fire hazard, I think, to some degree.
We've got them, they've done it voluntarily before in the past.
But there's so many, there's a lot.
And
Well, the ones they've removed in the past were a lot worse shape than the ones that have been now.
yeah, well, I mean, you saw it down when we met at the culvert. Just that 100 years of just flip them over the side.
yeah.
But they're all wetlands now. That's why I said maybe Joanne should be.
Right.
Joanne,
Yeah,
right, for the position?
Joanna, yeah. And the other thing that we were discussing today, and we'll get photos on too, as we're making a commitment to the improvement to the access to the commuter rail, and now with the building gone, and there's all those modular,
Oh, it's
and I've
just,
tried to,
they need to put a privacy fence up or
Right.
something to block
we
it.
need to clean that up.
What, when we got them to clean up over here, when we had the fence down,
Yeah.
it's the stuff they just took out of the other was just thrown on the ground.
Oh,
just
yeah.
behind
Oh, yeah,
the
I
cottage.
watched it, yeah.
It was amazing. I know Carly sent the picture of the loader with the big, just grapple loads of ties that were just.
So for the 3rd, we will discuss what the board needs to do to set the stage on the rail tie finding. We are in the process of getting the photos for that notice, so we will have those, and also talking to the MBTA about the overall platform.
They are, so with the MBTA, Pan Am doesn't care until they get fined. They're private. The MBTA, as you know, is very sensitive.
Yeah.
We need to take those, like you said, take those pictures, because I think those are their ties, because when they did that double
It could
track.
be.
And really,
Yeah.
And that Willow Road station, that substation disaster,
Mhm.
that was supposed to be temporary for the double tracking. The double tracking has been completed all the
and we
way
have a
through.
reporter present. Hi. Hi. Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
this
Yeah,
is-
so we'd love to, talk about this too, the ties, at some point.
Talk to him. He's
The MBTA is very media
yeah sensitive.
sensitive.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you go to other towns and there's nothing, and then you come to Ayer and it's.
Yeah.
We've talked about it 100 times, but.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
And the other thing I just wanted to mention, there was some turnover at APAC. This 17-year employee, Mr. Swope, is gone, and there's another employee that resigned.
Sure, I
And
believe. Yeah.
well, the liaison at the high school, Steve Tully,
Mm-hmm.
nice guy. He's not doing any more work with them either. I was wondering if we can get some more information, Robert,
Sure.
and see if they need replacements. Do we have to advertise it? Are we even involved? I know there was a separate board appointed by us. Is that the final word? Just some information on it.
We need a better, and to what you said, and I agree.
Yeah.
We need a better product. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been saying this for a while, but I mean, we had that gentleman who was hired, Dave, something that came a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
That was going to change the world. We met with him. We were all excited.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
going to meet with the school. We're going to use the movie. So I haven't seen him again.
Yeah, I'm concerned about some stuff that has been out there, but I really don't want to discuss until we get
understood.
some information on it.
Yep.
But if we could get some clarification, it would be
So,
good.
so Mr.
Sorry
Chair-
for being so vague.
No, so, Mr. Chairman, to Selectman
I think
Lucas,
it had to be, but
to Selectman Lucas' point,
point.
I am in the process of getting together all of the information pertaining to the various issues, which I will get to the board, and we can have a further conversation with all of the information, hopefully by the 3rd at the latest.
And it might all be
But we've been actively on the town, to the extent we have, there are concerns on various issues that are being looked into.
Okay.
I want to put it out there, and I just
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I
No,
appreciate
it's out there.
And then again, we've
That's
talked
what I'm
about,
afraid
we've
of.
talked about the product. If it's a funding issue, if it's the fact, I mean, these, right now, I'm sure, all you see is the back of Janice's shoulder on television.
It's a nice looking shoulder.
It is,
Excuse
it
me
is.
very much.
Yeah, that's why when I'm not sure, I'm going to sit over
Fuzzy.
there.
Yeah,
to the back of my bald head.
one of the things one of the things from this board that I have articulated to the APAC board is that, and not just BOS meetings, but all of the town meetings, which is one piece of what they do, about using increased angles when people are talking, their name. So like when Selectman Livingston is speaking, it pans and it says her name.
Spelled right.
Spelled right. Each of the meetings have like a screen.
Twins.
So increasing those things. So maybe we need to have a conversation with them as well at the
Well,
appropriate
just-
time.
Even candidate debates or discussions or other, things. It just, you watch, just look at other towns.
Well, the candidate debates, because they were running it for a little while, and they had to step out because it wasn't their job to run it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that became a whole
Just,
other mess.
People do watch public access. I mean,
But
I always,
one candidate debate, you had 1 minute. That's
Well,
it.
for
And
example,
that was awful.
real-
I mean,
Was that the
that
one
was
with all of us?
horrendous. That was horrendous.
yeah, that was.
Absolutely, I am
What was it?
still, it was horrendous.
That's the one Connie moderated, right?
Oh, that was horrendous.
Yeah.
One of the things, and I've discussed this with one of the board members at APAC, is, for example, if you're watching the meetings, and people do, you want to have like on the bottom of the screen for the benefit as to what meeting it is, because a lot of the meetings are in here. What I'm saying is, so if you catch it midstream, it could be a selectmen's meeting, or it's the Board of Health, or so forth.
Right.
It should say, otherwise it could look like one giant, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know
So-
exactly what you're saying. I mean, it's
Yeah.
turned into, basically
will-
now it's Alan.
I've got to
Alan
get some
Minoy
information
Public
for this
Access
board on the
Television.
issues you brought up,
Um,
and then I'll talk to them about these other things.
Yeah, it's just a better product for the residents because people do watch it. I don't go to all the meetings, but I mean, they pop up on Facebook. I take a peek, what's going on in other boards and keep myself informed. So,
All right.
to kind of circle back to Gary's initial.
That's that was just a couple of things. I have a couple other things, but they're not that important. So.
Oh, we're here again next Tuesday. So.
Yeah, I'll bring them up then. I'll try to get them into.
You cover?
And we don't have any minutes.
No minutes
You will
because,
for the third.
Slacking.
All right.
That's me.
Want me to read it?
That's me.
I know that's what I said. Carly was on vacation.
If it was Carly, they
Now
would be done.
remember, we have to give him compliments.
Oh,
You
snap.
did
Yes,
a
you're an expert.
wonderful
Please.
job
Oh.
tonight. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we move into executive session. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A, Assumption Number 2, non-union personnel negotiations, fire chief contract. Do so in open session would be detrimental to the discussion, and to adjourn from executive session for the night.
Go home.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Janice?
Aye.
Chair says aye. We're in executive session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. I'm sorry. Not Mila? Hi.
We'd love to see you every week. I'm Christopher Hillman.
The only